So, welcome to the Crab's Treasure Level 0 Arrival Percent. This is a category I devised myself in order to practice the beginning of the game and plus give myself the additional challenge of doing it at level 0. This is very much a practice session after pretty much not showing the title screen. Might as well put this as future reference for myself for when I do additional runs and stuff like that. So as you can see, basically starting out, we're moving along quite fast throughout the section. This section is pretty straightforward, just making sure to mash as fast as possible through the dialogue because I don't have auto masher and playing on the Nintendo Switch, so there is going to be a disparity in terms of the lag and load times. That's definitely going to add up a little bit differently than what you normally would, I guess, in other consoles and PC. So here I am death abusing in order to, I guess, my spawn is going to end up much further on into this part of the level, which is going to be very helpful because then I can just skip over, be right there next to this crab. There's going to be a little bit of dialogue and we have to run away from some of the crabs here. I'm going to be using a little bit of the incline in order to move as quick as possible. I try to abuse whatever I can, but at the moment I didn't get the full speed from that. At this moment, what I'm going to do, I'm going to grab the fork. We're going to use a fork launch. We're going to use a charge launch to get between those things, and it would seem that I did not get it at the moment, so I had to go in there, dodge roll into that hole without necessarily destroying it. That's another thing. We don't want to destroy as many objects as possible because we want to avoid creating lag within the level, so just trying to make it possible. There I didn't get a launch, so I'm doing this very much the normal way. Right there I did decide to do a charge launch, which basically saves me up a little bit of time there. There I end up much more closer to the lone shark, which is going to help. There I just jump over the glasses so that I don't create more lag. I continue jumping and hopping around with the charge launch to get to the next section, the next section being death row. We want to be sure to get there as quickly as possible. As you can see, I'm trying to build up the momentum necessary. I wasn't always getting it in this practice run. There was a little mini boost forward, but wasn't sufficient enough. So, my mindset throughout this is, well, trying to get as many launches as possible, avoid opening the dialogue over there. We continue getting some pretty good launches throughout the way down. Good thing is that we don't have to interact with that fish that was over there, and we can pretty much just move along to the boss fight, which we're pretty on time with at the very moment. At this point in the run, I am not deciding to skip this fight. I'm not doing the glitches necessary in order to skip it. We're going to do all the bosses normally here, and I'm going to perform a trick here, which is using the charge launch in order to deal damage to the boss, and using the shell to roll into him. That deals a significant amount of damage and helps with some time save there. The boss in this moment, death row, is going to be a little bit weird because suddenly for some reason he'll just keep doing things that allow him to dodge a lot of my movement. It means a lot of my attacks at this moment were missing. So I am able to get a dodge, and at this moment, for some reason, he decides to go up there. I really don't know why. Sometimes he could go up there and it ended up in situations that were really weird. Avoiding that grab was pretty clutch there. I actually could have taken a lot of damage. Was able to dodge the hind attack from his hoof, and I still continue to do the regular attacks, dodge it. I again. I keep going on for the attacks, and that's a no throw. So now I'm going to charge launch, try to put it in a specific angle so that I can keep going. Had I mashed fast enough, I could have avoided hitting that wall there, that sand wall, and I could have kept going up, but I didn't do that, so that means I did perhaps waste a little bit of time. Not too much, but it did help. There, I land directly next to the castle wall, which is very unfortunate, actually. Usually they land you a little further away from them. Usually the game stops you. So, like now, we are in good tides and good spacing for this to go. For some reason, in this section, I wasn't getting the roll animation from the shell. For some reason, I had the buttons pressed necessarily for it to work. There is a good jump in order to get all the way over there faster. So now we're going to continue. We're going to head into the chamber. For some reason, at this moment, I'm not getting the stuff necessary in order to be able to go quick. So I did lose a little bit of time from all of the times the guard happened instead of the roll animation. So we're going to skip some dialogue. She's basically going to tell us to go get a precious pearl. We're going to use that in order to go quick. I hit the wall by mistake. We're going to use a charge launch to go all the way over there. We're going to try to get there. We're going to launch ourselves onto the other side without having to climb the rest. We hit that. We're going to grab the string that allows us to grab a hook, and we're just going to jump our way over there. Here I am going to try to charge launch so that I can just roll all my way to go all the way over there, which works for a little bit. Actually, it works perfectly, which then allows us to grab a hook there. We can go up the castle as normal to go all the way to the cave. There is going to be a barnacle up ahead, which is going to be very useful for the two fights. I'm going to try to equip it, but for some reason the game wasn't allowing me to choose it. Now I was able to choose and equip it. It's going to be helpful for the next two very important fights in order to deal with their attacks and like resist the amount of damage. Here I'm going to roll. I'm going to put myself in a specific position in order to jump there so that I can keep going. I didn't get the momentum there, but hopefully I should be able to get the momentum later. I'm going to try to get the boost again. I was able to get it, but I didn't get the roll animation at that moment. I got a little mini launch, but fortunately we didn't get it enough. I'm going to try to launch ourselves, which we do. The roll animation just wasn't cooperating at the moment, so I really just had to take my chances and jump off and just go straight into the cave. We're going to save there because there have been times where I have fallen off in this section of the game, so we use this moon snail save point as a precaution in order to spawn back just in case anything wrong happens. We talk to the snail. He's going to give us the power of umami, and we're going to be able to use our magic. I used 2 magic attacks in order to deal damage while this little cutscene is happening. I am able to regenerate my umami magic and deal damage. I jump there in order to, throughout that little cutscene, basically save up some time. I'm going to grab a hook here, go all the way. We're going to, there was a little wobble happening there. I kind of panicked in that section. So we're going to go up, and here I'm not going to charge launch. I'm just going to jump off and just grab a hook my way there. I consider it's a lot faster to do than trying to charge launch, wasting time doing that. Here we get a charge launch. I do get a little mini launch. Didn't go all the way I wanted to at this moment, so I'm going to try to use the roll animation all the way over there if I can get this correctly. Should allow me to basically be able to roll, and as you can see I was able to move pretty fast throughout that section, avoid a particular crab that spawns from under the ground. And now we can just skip using the platform. We don't have to wait for the platform, we can just go there. So the point that I'm trying to do here is the same thing I did with Nethro. I'm trying to achieve that right here. I don't think I got it. No, I didn't get it. And now it's this fight. Throw in an attack, stay away, kind of walk away. That moment I did take a hit. Was not further enough away to avoid the attack. Using a different variation of attacks, charge attack, be sure to stay away and conserve the amount of movement I can do. Continuing with the attacks. Eventually, I should be able to get a charged attack. That attack is very deadly. I think it one-shots you, but right there was able to get the stagger animation, deal a little bit more damage. He tries to attack me. I am able to continuously pour in a lot more damage. He gets a little bit of a slowdown because of the magic attack. Slows down the amount of attacks, and I won the fight. Here, I'm trying to get the launch and avoid the animation of getting the shell. It happens while I'm in the air, which is good. That means I don't lose time trying to get the animation going. We don't want the animation of picking up the pristine pearl to happen. And now that we broke both crystals, we can unlock the 2 prime forms of the 2 other abilities on top of the teleportation. The streamline, we can use that for additional dodging. I like using it for precaution reasons, and the parry because it's going to be very necessary for the very next fight that we're going to do. Incredibly important if we want to skip. Magus does DM, her desperation move. We want to avoid that little spinning move that isn't really that helpful. We avoid leveling up because we are doing a level 0 run here. We teleport into the shallow centrals. We didn't actually open that shell, but that shell is always available to us to teleport to, which is right there. We didn't open that, but for some reason the game registers that, allows us to go there. And for some reason we weren't getting the animation. Now we got the roll animation, and that helps us go all the way up. We're going to continue right here. Ideally, there's an obstacle piece right there that usually is avoidable, and we can just roll our way all the way over there. Luckily, there is a lobster that we were able to avoid. We didn't get to interact with him, which is totally fine. Here we use a launch, and we're able to go all the way there, avoiding that attack. We're able to go all the way up. There is going to be a moon snail shell right there that we're going to activate, because if we die at any point here, we can spawn back. I don't go inside, however, because I have all the materials necessary that I need in order to progress. We are going to try to skip out on that section, but I didn't get the launch, so I just decided to keep going. There was a moment that I debated to get the anemone, but I just kept going. That's going to be useful in an actual run. This is mostly for practice reasons. So we're just going to keep going. We use the grapple hook. We're going to do a little bit of platforming. I'm not very well practiced in this section. This section is a little bit shaky for me. Sometimes I go into T-stance for some reason, and that enemy could actually kill me. We don't break any other crystals. We just keep going because we got all that we need. For this, we get the launch immediately, which is perfect. He jumps back. He doesn't actually go into attack us, which helps us to keep going. Here, instead of going all the way over there, we just jump, and we're able to grab a hook there. We're going to let ourselves drop into the bottom of that section, dodge roll in order to go all the way over there. We're going to dodge roll right here, if I'm correct. Yes. Thankfully, that crab goes out of the way. We're not gonna get the coconut shell. We don't want that. That lobster always activates there. He's gonna go into the fight with me right now. He pushed me into the order to activate the fight sooner. That was very lucky. I'm gonna try to death abuse here, because yes, we don't want to deal with them. For some reason I thought I could take them on at this very moment, but we're just going to accept this death because we want to death abuse. We don't want to waste time fighting the other guy. We just want to just fight Magista. And what I'm going to do next here is I'm going to get that teacup in order to boost speed. We're going to then grab that shell so that we can be fast to be able to deal the magic damage. But we have the additional advantage of, hey, I'm going to be able to get my magic much more quickly to be able to deal faster damage. As you can see, my dodge roll ability is much faster. Getting in the parry, like I said before, we want to avoid her desperation move. There we actually get her to stagger, which is very good, allows us to deal a significant amount of damage. We were able to avoid that attack, which is fantastic. We want to avoid touching the gunk because that is absolutely detrimental to us. That does not help us at all. Luckily she moves away. She knows that. We get the parry. We're able to deal the attack, stagger her again. This is going to be basically a DM skip at the speed that we're going. It's going to be very helpful for us at this moment. We get the charge attack. We don't get the parry. We're almost pushed out of the arena for some reason. Decide to heal, trying to look for an item. I see the teacup, and that was perhaps the biggest mistake of this run, was grabbing that one instead of grabbing another, instead of grabbing the soda pop shell on the other side right there. Would have saved me some time, but since I didn't grab that, yeah, I basically have to sit through the entire dialogue because the game just decides, well, you can't do anything about that. So that's my mistake. I gotta be sure next time to avoid that. Usually at this point, we would be rolling up the stairs. We would be going through the door that takes us through there, and we can just keep going. We would basically be rolling through the dialogue literally with the charger launch, but since I unfortunately had the wrong shell, then I guess we have to deal with this. As you can see, I could have done that, and it would have been very helpful had it been much sooner and had I had the correct shell on, but for some reason I decided that was going to be my thought process, because I was thinking mostly about survival at the moment. So we're going to head into New Carcinia, or rather the reef first. We're going to go into the reef, and that section is usually tricky, unless if you have a couple of tricks up your sleeve. Some of the tricks that I'm going to employ right now, which is going to be very helpful for us to be able to move along. As you can see, I was able to move very, very fast and go all the way to that moon snail shell fairly quickly, very easily, no delay whatsoever. We have the perfect item for what we need, so we don't have to swap out to any other shell at this moment, unless our shell breaks. We go there, we jump into that. For some reason, that crab just decided to jump there, basically pushing me off and basically sending me into the void. We're going to try to jump on there again after a couple of charge launches. We're going to go there, jump all the way to the top. Ideally, you want to do a charge launch between that reef right there. I do try to get it. It just didn't happen. I didn't have the sufficient boost, so I just kept going how you would normally do through the level. Because, yeah, I didn't get it. I wasn't going to go all the way up there. So you basically take the long way, go all the way up there. Hopefully, oh yeah, I get that hard kelp pod, restore my health to avoid the damage. Here, I don't get it, actually. He just pushes me out of the arena, wasting me a bit of time. But luckily, I spawn right back, relocate. He moves further, which basically means I could just jump over him and just continue, thankfully. I don't have to deal with him anymore. So we're going to try to get a charge launch here. We got to get rid of that enemy in particular in order to proceed to that little corner across from where we are. We want to move directly in a straight line practically with our charge launch. We want to go all the way over there. And we get the launch. We get the dodge roll. We land right there. I try to get a charge launch here instead of just jumping over there. For some reason, I wasn't getting it. The geometry was being weird with me at this moment. So I try to get, after a couple of tries, I get it. I do. I decide to put myself into the roll animation. I didn't get the full boost, so that means that that little trampoline, the first trampoline, I didn't get to avoid it, so I got like the full 3 trampoline, which is a little bit unfortunate. In this section, for some reason the terrain is very weird. You can't do that, you can't roll forever, so I have to do the boost, then jump, then try to get the boost. But again, this section is a little bit wonky, a little bit laggy. I just decided to stay into the rolling animation instead of just normally walking. And now we actually had the speed, but as you can see, the loading basically stopped it. We're going to try to get the boost again, which we do. So there's a little bit of a little piece from the newspaper which we avoided, and we get to talk to Tortellini, and that is the run. Pretty good. Pretty good. It was pretty awesome to be able to go this far and be able to have